Alright guys, I'm just out riding and today I have a cheeky WR125x review. This is my main bike, had it for 6 months. Basically, I know this bike inside and out, not quite inside. That was a private night, no one needs to know. Fuck's sake, sorry about the schoolwork. I'm a busy man. Basically the GoPro's fucked, so I thought I'd film this on my phone, give you a cheeky review of this bike because it's quite a... People like to know about this bike. It's quite a big bike in the 125 community. So here we go. Okay, to start with, I think I may as well start addressing some of the obvious questions that people always ask. So basically that is normally top speed, which is sort of, I'm going to be real with you, because people try and big up their bike sometimes. This bike with a headwind, you're looking at about 60 miles an hour with the wind coming at you. And with a tailwind, you can set at just above 70. But it all depends on the rider. I can get 75 on a flat with backwind, and maybe if it's really heavy wind coming towards me, maybe we're looking at like fucking, I don't know, low 60s. But basically, you're looking at somewhere between 60 and 70 as your top speed, depending on different shit. Height of the bike, another big one. I'm about 5'9", I don't know, roughly. And this bike's fine. You'll be fine on this bike. You could probably ride it at like 5'5", possibly, but you wouldn't be very happy. Like because when you're riding the bike, it doesn't make a difference. The only difference is when you're sat still. You can also get a lower seat for this, but when you're like still at traffic lights, that's the only time that height makes a difference. And as long as you can balance with 1 foot, normally I'll just put like the tip of my toe on the ground, just like so. That's the tip of my toe. That'll be it. Like just the tip of my toe. That's enough to balance. So really, you don't need to be very tall. Probably if you're below 5'5", though, it will be very difficult. And if you're below about 5'7", it will start to be it'll start to feel quite tall. But you'll be okay, basically. Don't worry about it. Would I recommend this bike? Yes. This is the 125 to get, in my opinion, hence why I've got it though, so it's a bit biased. I love the Supermoto. If you're looking at a Supermoto, I would suggest getting this one. It won't devalue much, so you can sell it when you're 19 if that's what you're planning on doing. And it's overall, it's just going to be a better investment. You can go on like little off-road tracks, even if you've not got much near you. You'll be thankful that you brought a Supermoto if you go and mess around on them. The top speed, you're never going to have a really quick 125, but off the line, this bike is fucking rapid. Like, you'll do 0 to 40, fuck's sake, in about 5-6 seconds. Though 40 to 60 can normally be about 8 seconds, making the 0 to 60 about 12 to 14 seconds. It all depends on certain shit. Talking about individual components, I'll start at the back. So, first thing, I've got a tail tidy on it. Don't mind the Tesco carrier bag. Pretty legit. Don't mind me, lads. Oi. Start with, I got a tail tidy. I don't think the stock back is very sexually appealing, so I changed that. Indicators, they're good, they flash, they do all the indicating you could ever need. This back bit's prone to breaking. Not much, but just like underneath it, it'll sort of fuck up. But don't worry about that, it won't wobble. Next, you got the exhaust. This is a Scorpion end can, which sounds pretty sexual. The bike sounds shit with the normal can. All this is an end can, it's not a full system. So I'd recommend at least getting an end can. This is a main thing that I've never had anyone talk about in the review of this bike. If you buy this bike new, once you get in sixth gear, if the bike's new with stock gearing, it will slow the bike down, I can assure you, until you get to about 5,000 miles. And until you get about 9,000 miles on the clock, or maybe 3,000 miles, it will stop braking. But around 7, 8, 9,000 miles, the bike will start to actually have some acceleration in sixth gear. So that's the main thing. If you buy the bike new, you may want to change the gearing, because in sixth gear it'll be shit. It'll be a piece of shit. Or buy one with miles, which I recommend, because otherwise £4 for this bike, it's not worth it. But it's definitely worth £2.5 if you buy it with a few thousand miles on it. All depends how much money you've got though. Brakes. Back brake. It stops the bike. What more can you really want? I don't know. The brakes on this, they're fine. It's a 125. front and back, brakes are excellent, they stop you, job well done. Passenger pegs, aka passenger seat and pegs. I've had a passenger on this loads of times. They say it's quite comfy, and the it loses acceleration, but it doesn't lose that much top speed, to be honest, depending on how big the person is. Foot pegs, nice position. It's it's a really comfy bike, actually. This is one of the big selling points of Supermoto. It's so comfy. I do quite a lot of miles on this, and it is always fucking comfy. I'll tell you that for free. The seat, it's pretty firm. I don't know, pretty soft. Who cares? Cups your ass. You know, it does the job. You won't probably get very uncomfy on this, I don't think, especially because it's such a tall bike. You're not squashed up and hunched over. Wing mirrors, pretty nice. You can see behind you. What else you need? The fairings are really strong as well. I've dropped this bike a few times. This is the only damage I've got from dropping the bike numerous times. This bike will be fined through quite a lot of shit that you give it. It's also very reliable. It's not the fastest, but it is, off the line, it's one of the fastest 125s, I'd say. It's not the fastest top speed, but I mean, realistically, 125s aren't that quick anyway. Horn, sounds gay like every other motorbike horn, so what can you expect? I've never had false neutral on this bike. Always precise. It's so nice. The gears, it changes lovely. Handguards, oh my god. I would give my left nut just to keep these handguards. They're so good. They will like protect the bike from so much shit, and I think they look sick. Headlight, it's pretty shit at illuminating, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but I think mine's adjusted bad. I normally just leave it in low beam because high beam I actually find pretty shit. But to be honest, I think it's because mine isn't adjusted overly great. Let me run you through this real quick. We got clutch, we got the pass thing, whatever the fuck that is, just flashes your lights. High beam, low beam, indicator, and honky horn. Over this side we've got kill switch and the ignition. This only has, and front brake obviously. This only has electric start, no kick start. So there's not that much else to say. Overall, yes, you should buy this bike, is what I'm saying. If you're thinking of getting a 125, this one, it will hold its value better than a lot of others. It's faster than a lot of others, not the fastest. Off the line, arguably, it's probably one of the fastest. The top speed of this is the most you'll get on a flat, realistically, is probably 75, and I'm light. And the most you'll get out of any 125 four strokes, probably about 85. It's the bike to get as a 125 in my eyes. If you crash it, you don't have to sell your left kidney or right kidney, no discrimination, just to fund the fairings. The suspension is really nice. It's adjustable suspension at the back. It will see you right over the bumps. The price tag is quite high, so get it second hand. I really suggest. You'll get a bike that's opened up. The sixth gear, if you buy it new, will be shit. So if you may as well save money, buy one with 5,000 miles on it. It's a yes from me. That's it. That's all. Ta-da.